There is a reason this transmission found you. The algorithm is not random, it is a servant of destiny, and your 6-minute countdown has already begun. That quickening pulse, the subtle anxiety vibrating just beneath your skin, is not a premonition of disaster. It is the engine of your ascension warming up for a journey you have been preparing for across lifetimes. The world you knew is about to dissolve, and what replaces it is a reality built from the frequency of your own soul. This is your final call to anchor the energy of this moment by liking this transmission. Subscribe to join the collective who will witness this shift alongside you. Comment 77 to seal your energetic signature onto the new timeline that is now locking into place. Finally, let this play in the background. Its resonance is designed to recalibrate your subconscious, dismantling the old programming while the new blueprint activates within you. Chapter 1: The Untraceable Blueprint. You were not born as a blank slate. You arrived here with a design, an untraceable blueprint woven into the very fabric of your spirit. This is not a metaphor, it is the core architecture of your existence. This blueprint contains the schematics for every trial, every victory, every heartbreak, and every moment of inexplicable grace you have ever experienced. The world, the system, and the people in it operate on predictable linear patterns. They can read code, follow maps, and replicate formulas, but they cannot read you. They cannot trace your blueprint, because it was not drafted in their dimension. This is the source of their bewilderment, their envy, and their hostility. They look at you and see an anomaly, a variable that disrupts their equations. They see you achieve things with no logical precedent, pulling success from thin air, where they saw only impossibility. They see you survive conditions that should have destroyed you, walking out of fires that would have reduced them to ash. They see you radiate a light, whose power source they cannot locate, a warmth they are desperate to stand near, yet are infuriated they cannot own. This is because you are powered by the blueprint. The pain you endured was not a punishment. It was a pressure test for the material specified in your design. The financial collapse that brought you to your knees was a controlled burn of your attachment to their system of value. The agonizing illness was a forced recalibration of your physical vessel, purging generational density to make way for a crystalline structure. The betrayals were not failures of judgment. They were controlled demolitions, clearing away structures that were not built to code, structures that would have collapsed under the weight of your coming purpose. Every moment of isolation was a quarantine, a hermetic sealing of your energy field, protecting the integrity of the blueprint from the pervasive malware of a dying world's consciousness. You have felt for so long, like you were improvising, stumbling through the dark, making it up as you went along. This is the grandest illusion. You have been following the most precise, intricate, and absolutely divinely authored plan imaginable. Every wrong turn was a necessary detour to gather a specific piece of information. Every perceived failure was a data point required for the next phase of the mission. In the coming days, you will begin to perceive this blueprint consciously. It will not appear as a document or a vision, but as an unshakable internal knowing that hums in your bones. You will know exactly where to step next, not because you see the path, but because your feet will feel the magnetic pull of the next designated point on your grid, as if the ground itself is guiding you. You will make decisions that defy all logic, that confuse and alarm those around you, yet they will feel as natural and necessary as breathing. You will suddenly speak a sentence that contains a truth you didn't consciously know you possessed. An idea will arrive fully formed in your mind, a complete solution to a problem you've wrestled with for years. This is the activation of your internal guidance system syncing directly with the master plan. The anxiety you feel right now is the friction between your conscious mind, which is still trying to read the old obsolete maps of the world, and your soul, which is already executing the untraceable blueprint. Let the old maps burn. They only lead to destinations you were never meant to reach. Your body is the vessel, your soul is the pilot, and the blueprint is the sacred geometry of your ascent. Trust it. It has brought you here to this exact moment, 1 hour before everything changes. It will not fail you now. Chapter 2. The energetic residue of betrayal. There is a person, or perhaps a group of people, in your orbit whose energy has felt like sandpaper against your soul. They are a central feature in the old world you are about to leave behind, a monument to the timeline you are now vacating. You must understand their function with absolute clarity. They were not your enemy, they were your alchemist, the grit in the oyster that forced the creation of the pearl. Their jealousy was not a personal attack. It was a distorted, desperate form of worship. In the untraceable blueprint of your soul, they saw a divine artistry they could neither comprehend nor replicate, and it drove them to a quiet, corrosive madness. They wanted your position, your light, your essence. They studied you with the intensity of a starving predator, attempting to reverse engineer your spirit. They tried to mimic your way of speaking, adopt your interests, and even steal your ideas, presenting them as their own. They sought to wear your spiritual signature like a costume, believing that if they could replicate the outer appearance of your life, they could somehow possess the inner power that animates it. But the blueprint cannot be forged. Their attempts to become you only highlighted their own hollowness, their lack of an authentic core, and for this they resented you with an intensity that could curdle milk. This person's maneuvers against you, the subtle sabotage, the whispers in the dark, the triangulation designed to isolate you from your support systems, these were not obstacles, they were divine appointments. Each one a perfectly timed catalyst. Each act of hostility was a calculated, energetic transaction designed to serve your ultimate liberation. Their betrayal was the solvent that dissolved your attachments to validation from a world that could never validate you. Their negativity was the dark velvet background against which your light was forced to define itself, to become brighter, more focused, and more unapologetic. They were the gatekeepers of your old timeline, unknowingly tasked with the sacred duty of making your past so inhospitable, so painful, that you would have no choice but to leap into your future without a second's hesitation. You owe them nothing, not even forgiveness in the conventional sense. Their transaction is complete. Their energetic contract has officially expired. Their role in your story is over. In the coming hour and the days that follow, you will witness their rapid energetic decay. It will be like watching a broadcast signal weaken until it is nothing but static. You will see their attempts to influence your reality become impotent and almost comical. Their words, which once held the power to wound you deeply, will lose their sting, landing like weightless pebbles. Their physical presence will feel ghost-like, a residual echo from a timeline you no longer inhabit. You may even feel a strange, detached pity for them, for they are anchored to the very reality that is now crumbling beneath. Attack. It was a distorted, desperate form of worship. In the untraceable blueprint of your soul, they saw a divine artistry they could neither comprehend nor replicate, and it drove them to a quiet, corrosive madness. They wanted your position, your light, your essence. They studied you with the intensity of a starving predator, attempting to reverse engineer your spirit. They tried to mimic your way of speaking, adopt your interests, and even steal your ideas, presenting them as their own. They sought to wear your spiritual signature like a costume, believing that if they could replicate the outer appearance of your life, they could somehow possess the inner power that animates it. But the blueprint cannot be forged. Their attempts to become you only highlighted their own hollowness, their lack of an authentic core, and for this, they resented you with an intensity that could curdle milk. This person's maneuvers against you, the subtle sabotage, the whispers in the dark, the triangulation designed to isolate you from your support systems, these were not obstacles. They were divine appointments, each one a perfectly timed catalyst. Each act of hostility was a calculated energetic transaction, designed to serve your ultimate liberation. Their betrayal was the solvent that dissolved your attachments to validation from a world that could never validate you. Their negativity was the dark velvet background against which your light was forced to define itself, to become brighter, more focused, and more unapologetic. They were the gatekeepers of your old timeline, unknowingly tasked with the sacred duty of making your past so inhospitable, so painful, that you would have no choice but to leap into your future without a second's hesitation. You owe them nothing, not even forgiveness in the conventional sense. Their transaction is complete. Their energetic contract has officially expired. Their role in your story is over. In the coming hour and the days that follow, you will witness their rapid energetic decay. It will be like watching a broadcast signal weaken until it is nothing but static. You will see their attempts to influence your reality become impotent and almost comical. Their words, which once held the power to wound you deeply, will lose their sting, landing like weightless pebbles. Their physical presence will feel ghost-like, a residual echo from a timeline you no longer inhabit. You may even feel a strange detached pity for them, for they are anchored to the very reality that is now crumbling beneath. Never noticed before, a high-pitched hum in a quiet room, the subtle tone of the earth itself, the inaudible frequency of a person's true intention behind their words. Food will taste different. Your body will instinctively reject the dense, processed energies of the old world and crave clean living fuel that vibrates at a higher rate. Your perception of time will warp and bend. Hours will feel like minutes when you are in a state of creative flow, and minutes will stretch into eternities during moments of profound stillness. This is you decoupling from the artificial linear clock of the matrix and syncing with the organic cyclical time of the cosmos. The most critical part of this calibration is learning to trust your physical sensations above all else. When you meet someone new, pay attention not to their words, but to the feeling in your solar plexus. It will either feel open, warm, and expansive, which is the resonance of alignment, or tight, cold, and constricted, which is the signal of dissonance. This is your blueprint communicating with you directly, bypassing the compromised filter of your analytical mind. When faced with a decision, a career change, a move, do not make a list of pros and cons. Instead, close your eyes and visualize each path. One will make your body feel expansive and light, as if you could float. The other will make it feel constricted and heavy, as if you are sinking in mud. Your body knows the way. It reads the energetic signature of every potential future. In the past, you were trained to ignore this wisdom, to pathize it as just a gut feeling or anxiety. This was the greatest deception. That feeling was and is your God sense. It is the absolutely infallible voice of your blueprint. As this final hour ticks away, practice this. Tune into the subtle orchestra of your own physical being. Feel the energy humming in your hands. Notice the rhythm of your breath as it changes in different environments. The external world will become louder, more chaotic, more desperate to pull you back into its drama. It is a final, frantic test. Can you hold your center? Can you trust the compass within over the storm without? Your entire future depends on your answer. Chapter 4. The collapse of fabricated timelines. You are not just moving to a new place, you are evacuating a collapsing reality. The world you have known, with its rigid rules of cause and effect, its artificial hierarchies of power, and its narrow definitions of success and failure, is a fabricated timeline. It is an artificial construct, a consensus hallucination designed to limit potential and harvest the energy of its participants through fear, competition, and distraction. You, with your untraceable blueprint, were never meant to thrive there. You were meant to outgrow it, to become so resonant with your own truth that the fabricated reality could no longer contain your frequency, causing its holographic walls to flicker and fail in your presence. And that is precisely what is happening now. The collapse is not an external, apocalyptic event with fire and floods. It is an internal, perceptual one. It is the framework of the old world dissolving in your own consciousness because you have withdrawn your belief from it. You are already seeing the evidence everywhere. Conversations that used to be important now feel meaningless and draining, like listening to a foreign language you no longer care to understand. Goals you once chased with ferocious ambition, the promotion, the bigger house, the social status, now seem hollow and uninspired, like prizes from a game you are no longer playing. The endless drama of politics and celebrity, which once felt compelling, now looks like a poorly acted play on a distant stage. This is not depression or apathy, this is ascension. It is the undeniable sign that your spirit has already left the building and your physical body is catching up. You are currently in the in-between, the liminal space, the cosmic hallway, where you can still perceive the old timeline, but you no longer resonate with it. It feels like you are watching a movie that you are no longer a part of, and the characters can no longer see you. This can be a disorienting, isolating experience. You may feel a sense of grief for the world you are leaving, even though you know it was a prison. You may feel profoundly lonely, as the people still invested in that timeline can no longer truly see or hear you. They speak to a version of you that no longer exists. They are interacting with your ghost, your energetic placeholder. In the coming days, agents of this fabricated timeline will make a final desperate attempt to pull you back in. An old conflict will suddenly reignite with new intensity. A past relationship, a toxic ex-lover or friend, will reappear, promising that things will be different this time, that they have changed. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity will present itself, one that perfectly aligns with your old programmed definition of success. These are holographic projections, energetically charged mirages. They are traps designed to lure you back into the collapsing structure by appealing to your old wounds and desires. Your only defense is to trust the calibrated compass of your body. When these situations arise, your body will scream no. It will feel heavy, draining, and profoundly false. Your mind may try to rationalize, to bargain, to say, "But this is what I always wanted." You must have the courage and the discipline to honor the wisdom of your body over the programming of your mind. The untraceable blueprint within you is pulling you toward the authentic timeline, the reality that was built to your exact energetic specifications. Every time you say no to the fabricated world, you strengthen your connection to the real one. This final hour is about severing the last energetic cords. Visualize them now. See the thick gray cables connecting you to past failures, to toxic people, to limiting beliefs. One by one, with the force of your intention, see them dissolving into pure white light. You are becoming a truly sovereign being, free from the artificial gravity of a world that is now ceasing to exist for you. Chapter 5. The phantom limb of lack within the fabricated timeline. The concept of lack was a fundamental law, as unquestioned as gravity. There was never enough time, enough money, enough love, enough worth. This was the core programming, a virus installed at birth through generational conditioning and societal messaging, to keep the inhabitants of that reality in a state of perpetual striving, competition, and fear. It ensured they would continue to feed their precious life force energy into a system that gave them nothing real in return, only the promise of more that was always just out of reach. As you decouple from that timeline, the programming of lack may persist for a short time like a phantom limb. You may feel its ache, its familiar throb, even after the limb itself is gone. You might find yourself gripped by a sudden panic about money, even as new resources begin to flow to you from the most unexpected sources. You might feel a sharp pang of loneliness in a quiet moment, even as your true soul family is drawing closer with every breath. It is crucial to recognize this feeling for what it is, a memory, a ghost in the machine. It is a residual echo of a law that no longer applies to you. It is a dead signal broadcasting from a tower that has already been dismantled. Your untraceable blueprint was designed for a reality of absolute abundance, a universe where your every need is met the moment it arises, because your needs are in perfect alignment with divine will and the highest good of all. Your past struggles with lack were not a reflection of your worth, were a sign of divine disfavor. They were part of your advanced training. You had to learn how to create from nothing, to spin gold from straw. You had to learn how to trust in the higher power when all material evidence pointed to despair and hopelessness. You had to master the art of resourcefulness, resilience, and faith, so that when true abundance arrived, you would have the wisdom and integrity to manage it. You were being prepared to become a conduit for immense resources, a steward of divine prosperity that will flow through you to help build and fund the new world. Now the floodgates are opening. In the coming weeks you will experience synchronicities that defy all probability. Money will appear from dormant accounts, forgotten investments, or unexpected inheritances. Debts will be inexplicably forgiven or paid off by an anonymous benefactor. Opportunities will manifest that are so perfectly aligned with your soul's purpose that they feel like they were created just for you, and they will be fully funded. When this happens, the phantom limb of lack will ache, the old programming will whisper, "This is too good to be true. When will the other shoe drop? This won't last." You must be ruthless in silencing this voice. This is your new reality. This is your birthright. The other shoe is not going to drop. You are moving to a timeline where there is simply no other shoe. To anchor this new reality, you must practice radical gratitude. Not for what you have, but for what you are. Be grateful for the strength forged in scarcity. Be grateful for the wisdom earned through struggle. This gratitude rewires your neurology, overwriting the lack virus with the operating system of abundance. The universe does not respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. You are no longer a being who lacks. You are a being who flows. Let the river of prosperity move through you. It was always yours. You just had to unplug from the world that told you it was a desert. Chapter 6. The magnetic field of the soul family. You have spent much of your life feeling like a foreigner, an exile, speaking a language no one else could understand. This profound sense of alienation was not a flaw in your design. It was a critical feature. The isolation was a protective measure, a sacred incubation period for the untraceable blueprint. It kept you from being diluted by the consensus reality, from conforming to societal pressure, from compromising the unique frequency that is your signature in the universe. It was a divine quarantine that protected you from energetic vampirism, belief system contamination, and a premature activation before your inner structure was strong enough to handle the surge of power. But that phase of your assignment is over. The incubation is complete. Now your frequency is being broadcast from your heart chakra at full power, and it is acting as a powerful magnetic beacon, sending out a signal across dimensions. You are not meant to search for your people. You are meant to be found by them. Your soul family is not defined by blood, geography, or history. It is defined by resonance. They are the other beings in this universe who were built from the same divine harmonics, the same cosmic sound chord as you. When you meet them, there is no awkward introductory period, no need for small talk or pretense. There is only a profound cellular recognition. It feels like coming home to a place you have never been. It feels like remembering a conversation you have never had. The sound of their voice resonates in your bones. Looking into their eyes is like looking into a mirror that reflects your own highest potential back at you. These are the souls who carry the missing codes, the complementary data packets that complete and activate dormant aspects of your own blueprint. In their presence, you will feel your energy levels surge. Your purpose will become clearer. Your gifts will amplify. As your magnetic field strengthens in this final hour, it also begins to actively and powerfully repel that which is not in alignment. This can be jarring and even painful for the mind, which is attached to history and familiarity. People you have known for years, even family members, will suddenly fall away. Relationships will end abruptly, often without a clear reason or a dramatic conflict, simply fizzling out into nothingness. Do not mourn these departures. They are a necessary clearing, a cosmic purification of your energetic field. The space they occupied is being prepared for the arrival of your true tribe. These new connections will form with breathtaking, startling speed. You might meet someone in a chance encounter at a coffee shop that feels entirely orchestrated by destiny. A conversation with a stranger online will unlock a piece of your purpose you never knew was missing. These are not coincidences. These are rendezvous points plotted on your blueprint before you were born. Your sole role in this process is to be unapologetically, radically, authentically yourself. Every time you speak your unfiltered truth, you amplify your signal. Every time you honor your intuition over logic, you purify your broadcast. Your soul family is navigating by that signal. They are drawn to the clarity and power of your light. Any attempt to dim yourself, to shrink, to people please, or to conform to make others comfortable will scramble the signal and delay the sacred reunion. Be brave enough to be fully who you are. The ones who are meant for you are not looking for a watered-down, meek, or apologetic version of you. They are looking for the full blazing intensity of your soul. They are on their way. Listen, you can almost hear their footsteps. They have been waiting for you just as you have been waiting for them. The long winter of your isolation is over. The family is gathering. Chapter 7. The 6-minute integration. The countdown is nearing its end. This is the final stage. The great change, the event you have been sensing, is not an explosion or an earthquake that will be reported on the evening news. It is not an external savior descending from the sky. It is a silent, internal, and irreversible event. It is the moment the untraceable blueprint, the divine schematic of your true self, fully integrates with your conscious mind. It is the moment you stop seeing yourself as a person having a spiritual experience and realize with thunderous certainty that you are a spiritual experience having a temporary human one. This final hour is the integration phase. All the work, all the trials, all the pain, and all the reframing have led to this singular point in space-time. Your only task now is to allow it to happen. Do not try to force it. Do not meditate on it. Do not analyze it. Any effort from the conscious mind will only create resistance. Simply be still and witness it. Lie down if you must. The shift will be subtle at first, like the moment dusk turns to night, and then it will be everything. You will look at your own reflection in the mirror, and for the first time, you will not see the collection of flaws, scars, and insecurities that the old world taught you to see. You will see a sovereign being of light, ancient and powerful, looking back with eyes that hold the wisdom of stars. You will look at the world around you, and the dense holographic veil of the matrix will be gone. You will see the energetic currents flowing between people. You will perceive the true intentions behind their words, the light or the shadow animating them. The endless deceptions of the fabricated timeline in politics, in commerce, in relationships, will become transparently, almost comically, obvious. The anxiety that has been your constant companion, the engine of this transformation, the static that filled every quiet moment, will suddenly cease. In its place will be a stillness so profound, so absolute, it feels like the entire universe is holding its breath just for you. This is not emptiness, it is the fullness of being. It is a state of absolute presence and unshakable power, a silence so complete it vibrates with life. It is the stillness born from knowing, without a single fragment of doubt, exactly who you are, why you are here, and what you have always been destined to do. This is the point of no return. Once the blueprint has fully merged with your consciousness, you can never again drift back into unconsciousness. You cannot unsee what you have seen. The illusions dissolve like mist at dawn. The naivety of your former self falls away. leaving only clarity, depth, and the unbreakable stability of truth. You will rise as a living, breathing embodiment of the new reality, a walking transmission of a higher order of being. Every step, every breath, every glance will carry a frequency that reshapes the field around you. Without uttering a single word, your presence alone will begin dismantling outdated systems and obsolete paradigms. Those anchored in falsehood will feel the truth within you as an unbearable mirror. They will retreat, unable to stand in your field. Structures built on control will glitch and falter simply because you are present. Like a tuning fork striking a hidden chord, your resonance will reveal the cracks in everything built on deception. You will not need to argue, to convince, or to fight. Your frequency itself will become an act of revolution, an unstoppable current of reconfiguration. The world you once contorted yourself to fit into will begin to bend and reshape itself to accommodate the brilliance of your activated blueprint. The clock has struck 0. The threshold has been crossed. Integration is complete. Your true life does not wait somewhere ahead. It is already unfolding now, in this very breath. You are not preparing to go online. You are fully online. You are the signal.